So Metro Boomin just sold a portion of his catalog for $7 million. A beatmaker just made $70 million. I'm excited to talk about this. Why am I excited to talk about somebody making $70 million and I don't even know them, so they're not going to give me any of it? I'll explain. There are all these fear-based narratives in the music producer community that discourage people from pursuing their dreams. The game is too saturated. It's about who you know, not what you know. It's impossible to get connections, Illuminati, blood sacrifices. There are all these reasons for producers who want to establish themselves and work their dream job, which is making beats for a living, which is amazing. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have $70 million. If I did, you couldn't tell me shit, but I don't. But I'm still really happy that I made the, at the time, many would have said, stupid decision to quit my jobs and pursue music production. Now, I don't want to discourage anybody. All these narratives about saturation and this and that, these are narratives created by people who tried once, failed once, and gave up, or they just tried a bunch of really ineffective methods and didn't learn, didn't grow, weren't consistent, and they failed and they just want to discourage people. So the two big fear-based narratives at play here are as follow. Number one, the game is too saturated. And then number two, and this is one that I actually believed for years, which is that the online beat leasing marketplace has devalued production so much that it's affected the market for all music producers. When I first got my big major placement, that was in 2008. Online beat sales, the type beats, the infamous type beats, oh my God, type beats. That whole method of selling beats had been long established at that point. People had been selling beats since the mp3.com days, and it was SoundClick. Now I'm using BeatStars. I didn't want to, though. I've told this story before because I bought in to the narrative, which was fear-based. It came from my own fears and insecurity. I will readily admit that selling online devalued your craft and devalued production in general. Like, look at this poll, for example. Music producers, type beats only exist for search engine SEO purposes only. That's redundant. Indirectly hoping to gain popularity from popular artists. Internet searches ultimately devaluing producers as a community, a whole community. Most people said that's true. So now it's 2023, right? How many years has it been? A solid at least 20 years. More than 20 years of online beat sales. Cheap, affordable, a person who's just starting out can buy one of these beats. This should have affected how major labels pay, right? Because that's the fear. You devalue beats. Now producers, even at the top level, because it used to be, right, this is what we hear all the time. You used to be able to sell a beat to a label for $50 million trillion. And nowadays people are going online selling beats for 87 cents. Now, that was my bad for believing that narrative. Once I finally had conversations with people who were actually doing it, because I'm not going to lie to you, when Mike Trampy and Abe and all them were coming at me saying, you could make a lot of money here, this is a great opportunity for producers in general, I was still skeptical. It wasn't until I talked to producers, saw that they were simultaneously making amazing livings selling beats online to unsigned artists as well as getting plaques in the business, that I realized I could actually do both and it wouldn't hurt my chances of being seen as a legitimate music producer in the major label establishment. Because I'll be honest with you, that was just ego. A lot of it's ego. Fear comes from ego. Don't be controlled by your fear. So to see Metro Boomin, over 20 years after this whole devaluing of music producers movement started, to see him sell a portion of his publishing catalog for $70 million should be encouraging. It should show us not only that the online sales don't affect, like what someone over there is doing. Someone over there, as we speak, is selling beats for $1. That doesn't affect me. I'll be fine. What they do doesn't affect me, and it's not going to affect you. It's not going to affect Metro. It also shows us that there's still a lot of money in the music business, not just for recording artists, but for beat makers. What's really amazing about Metro and a lot of the new generation, big producers like Murder Beats, etc., is that they don't rap. They don't even really speak that often. Metro Boomin has the distinction of being the first non-rapping hip-hop producer to reach 50 million monthly listeners on Spotify, which is pretty amazing. Because a lot of times when we talk about the greatest producers, it's, amazing producers like Timbaland, Pharrell, Dre, these guys, even J Dilla, these guys rapped. and still rap. I don't know why I'm speaking in the past tense. So I saw this as an opportunity to remind producers that there are still opportunities out there for them to make a living doing this. And of course, I got some very disappointing responses on Twitter, which I want to turn into teachable moments. Probably the biggest response I got was this inability for producers to understand what it means to sell a portion of your publishing catalog. People kept saying that Metro Boomin didn't make 70 million off beats. He made it off his catalog. It's not his beats that made the money. It's his songs and his publishing interest in the songs, not beats, not the way I'm angling it. You know, fuck me for trying to motivate producers by pointing out how Metro Boomin just made $70 million. I'm looking at the whole situation wrong, of course, because he didn't sell beats to make that 70 million. He sold his catalog. I get it, right? Because like if you act in a movie and then you get paid for acting in a movie, you're not being paid for your acting talent. You're being paid for your involvement in a movie. Smart. Now, I don't know why a person would want to, a producer of all people, would want to make the distinction between someone who makes beats that become songs and then creates a whole catalog of successful songs they made beats for and selling beats. But I think part of it might be this super old misunderstanding about what publishing interest is. Now, publishing interest is a portion, half of your interest in the underlying composition copyright of a song that you created. When you create a song, there are two copyrights. One is the master recording. We're not going to talk about that. The other is the underlying composition. And under the underlying composition umbrella, when it comes to ownership, you are a publisher. Usually you're the same. You're a publisher, especially if you're starting out, and you're a writer. And your interest gets split evenly among those two categories. When you sign a publishing deal, you sell your interest in the publishing portion. That's, I assume, what Metro did. I don't know for a fact. Now, here's a guy who doesn't know shit throwing his hat in the ring. There's a good chance he has writing credits on all the songs he produced. Difference between making beats and producing songs. Here we go. People are weaponizing this whole distinction between producers and beat makers because, of course, you little dirty ass beat makers out there, you don't get publishing. You don't get equity in the underlying composition because you're just a freaking dirty, filthy, nasty, pathetic beat maker. But real producers, they get songwriter credits. Oh my God. I hope you're all really disappointed in yourselves for being filthy fucking beat makers instead of real ass music producers. And you would think people would know by now that that's really ridiculous. Here's an article. I'm just gonna, fucking hell, I don't know why I'm doing this. Grammy winning songwriter and producer James Steed, profession, blah blah blah, has signed with Giant Music Publishing, a division of, who gives a fuck. I mean, great for him. I'm just annoyed with this conversation. This dude produced Cardi B's song Up. He produced it. He made the beat and he just signed a publishing deal. How would he sign a publishing deal if he's not a co-writer, if he doesn't have equity in the underlying composition? I'm going to use myself as a goddamn example. There's this track that I produced way back for the R&B singer Jaheim. If you go on this is some shit that like is too advanced for the people who send me these infuriating tweets. My viewers are way smarter than these people, so hopefully you appreciate this. You can go to ASCAP or BMI and what it's called a repertory search, and you can find titles, writers, and publishers. So I searched for the song that I produced for Jaheim. I didn't write a single lyric. I wasn't in the studio with him. I just made the beat and I emailed it. That's what I did. For all intents and purposes, people would say I'm just a beat maker and not a real producer in this scenario. I don't care. The fact of the matter is this is my name and I am a writer. Gearspace, formerly Gear Sluts, are producers also songwriters. A whole bunch of people were saying some uninformed stuff. In most cases, a beat maker who is not a traditional producer is therefore more of a songwriter than a traditional producer who is not a beat maker. Because of this, beat maker producers will sign the same types of deals as a songwriter would. For example, a publishing deal with splits being negotiated out of both publishing and the master side. Yes and yes. Has nothing to do with Metro Boomin having some extra privilege because he's a real producer. That's just how it is. When you make a beat, you are a songwriter. You wrote the beat. That's part of the song. As far as I'm aware, the deal was for albums he released. I don't know where you gathered that information. You're just saying that to win an argument. It's silly. I have no idea, but like I've read a bunch of articles on this and it has nothing to do with this, but let's just use our common sense here. So they're talking about his extensive catalog filled with chart-topping hits, Bad and Bougie, right? Tuesday, Mask Off, a whole bunch of stuff. Metro Boomin has 99 total entries on the Billboard Hot 100 chart as a producer, including 2 number ones and 10 top 10s, which is amazing. As an artist, he's notched 46 total entries, and he's only released 2 albums, apparently, according to this article. This is his second studio effort, and it earned roughly 185,000 album equivalent units in its first week, which is a lot, but no one's paying $70 million just for that. So use some common sense. I know that's hard for some folks. I want to talk about something else now, and this is insane. YouTube took me to war for giving away free sample packs. I was shocked because I've been giving away free sample packs forever, and I know it was probably one of these people that I'm talking about in my video, or someone that I talked about in a past video trying to snitch me out to YouTube. He's releasing sample packs, but that's not my concern. The fact that YouTube actually did this, they went through with it, I was happy. I was like, I'm giving away 3 packs in my new video, 3 sample packs, and I wake up that day and the video's not there, and I think it must have been an uploading error. It must have been. So I went to my creator studio and I actually see that my video has been blocked for harmful and dangerous content. Harmful and dangerous content. My video is 3 free sample packs. How did my content violate the policy? They don't tell you. They just use vague language. So fortunately for me, because I have the YouTube plaque, I'm a part of the Illuminati, I sacrificed the family member already. I get access to creator support. I'm having this long ass conversation with my creator support woman. We went back and forth, and ultimately all she had to say was this boilerplate language, apologizing, but basically saying, eat a dick, your video's gone, and we're not going to tell you why. In fact, she kept emphasizing to me that there's a dedicated team who does all the necessary research before coming up with a verdict, and unfortunately, the ultimate result is to keep the video deleted. My point is, if there is a dedicated team who does all the necessary research, why would they send me something that says we don't have the specific reason as to why the video has been taken down? What does their research team do? I've done research. I've been to school. I've done a lot of research. Guess what the fuck you get when you're finished doing the research? You have something documenting the research, the results, the conclusion, all of that stuff. I don't want to get into academia, but the fact of the matter is this doesn't make any sense. So here's the weirdest part. I mean, it's all very weird. But the weirdest part is, after I go through this whole 48-hour headache where I'm just resigned to the fact that I will never post another free sample pack onto YouTube out of fear of losing my channel, suddenly the video is back. 13 days ago, 456 views. Because of course, when a video goes up, builds momentum, and then suddenly disappears for 13 days, people stop looking at it. YouTube buries it in the search algorithm. So thank you, YouTube. You've effectively destroyed the video. But if you are interested in getting these 3 sample packs, I'm going to mention this. I'm scared to death of posting a link or making another dedicated video about my free sample packs, but I'm giving away 3 free sample packs. I'll probably make another video mentioning this, but I'm going to put a video link down there. This is the only link I'm comfortable sharing. I'm not comfortable sharing a link to the actual sample pack. I'm comfortable sending a link to the YouTube approved video. And when you go there, here is the link. You can download it here. I'm not taking any risks because YouTube plays way too damn much, and it's not worth it to me at this point. Anyway, to end this, Metro Boomin making $70 million off of a portion of his catalog because, yes, he made a bunch of beats that turned into hit songs. Should be encouraging. It shows us that there's money in the music business for producers, and it shows us that low price production marketplace hasn't really affected anything to the point that people should be scared of it. And also, I guess, don't make free sample packs and give them away to the producer community because YouTube will get upset with you. I don't really know what conclusion to draw from that experience, but the link is below. Download those 3 free sample packs. Hope you enjoy those. Much success to you. Hope you make $70 million. Peace.